Now there's another area of mastering that comes in the form of text data, ISRC codes, metadata, CD titles, text on a CD player, those kinds of things. The key thing that I want to echo here is that while these things can be embedded into the music, they're not always that important. An ISRC code is probably the most important piece of this, because this is how, if you put your music up for royalties, this is how you get paid. This is how the entities who are broadcasting or playing your music, this is how they track in their catalog when they submit back to their organizations that they're subscribed to, so that that can be correlated to the artist or the owner of the music so that they can get paid for that play. How do you do an ISRC code? An ISRC code in itself is powerless. It is a code that is assigned to a song, and even if it's not embedded into the song, it still can be applied to and cataloged with the song and registered with a database so that others can look it up and find out who is the owner of that music. For instance, soundexchange.com, and I highly recommend setting up an account with SoundExchange. They are now the database of all ISRC codes. As an ISRC manager, I can assign you ISRC codes, and I can upload those to SoundExchange. But again, that doesn't do anything until you register for an account with soundexchange.com and you claim those codes. You set up your information so that when those codes appear from radio playlist or when they're broadcast and those reports are sent back to soundexchange.com, then they will know where to apply payment. So this is a complicated part of the industry that I won't get into here. The bottom line is you do want an ISRC code. It's one code that stays with that recording for its lifetime. Doesn't matter where it goes, doesn't matter how old the recording gets, it doesn't matter if it's released on a different platform like a compilation. It's still the same ISRC code. Only if you re-record it or remix it does it become a new ISRC code, because then it's a different performance sonically. So like for instance, a Dolby Atmos version of a song may have a different ISRC code than a stereo version. A live version, a cover tune would have a different ISRC code. Different things may change that, and sometimes even the owner may register it different and want to change the ISRC code, but they don't have to do that. Because again, that's a number that is registered to that song. It doesn't matter who owns it. If you pick up a cereal box at a grocery store and you look at the bottom of it, there's a little UPC symbol there. There's a little barcode. That's kind of what an ISRC code is. But when you look at that barcode, it means nothing. However, it doesn't matter what grocery store that cereal box is sold in. It's the same UPC symbol. It's the same barcode. What they're doing is they're scanning that barcode to put it into their system. They'll scan it again when somebody buys it. And based on the information in that database from that barcode, the company who owns that store will know who gets paid for that. When it comes to metadata, that's sort of a disposable thing in a way, because the metadata can be stripped from a file at any time. If you add metadata to a file and then upload it to a streaming platform, that metadata is stripped out. However, when you release an MP3, the metadata is crucially important because all of that data is baked into the file, even if it can be stripped out. But that's crucial to an MP3 because everybody wants to know everything about that MP3. MP3s can even have artwork that's assigned to them. So when you play an MP3 in an MP3 player, it will show the artwork that's assigned to it. Now, when uploading ISRC codes or metadata into a streaming platform, forget it. The streaming platforms are often fueled by aggregators like TuneCore or DistroKid, which is normally where you would upload your music to if you want to release it on many different streaming platforms. It's what most people do. But when you upload the songs, you can add the ISRC codes there, but if the ISRC code is embedded in the file already, it's going to be deleted. You have to reapply it as you're uploading your song to the aggregator. Other metadata like songwriter credits and mastering credits or mixing credits, those things are all destroyed when they're uploaded. This is why it's crucially important that after your music is uploaded to DistroKid or TuneCore or CD Baby, that you can go back in and add credit. You can add contributors. These are important for mastering engineers, much like a photographer who wants their credit at the bottom of a photograph in a magazine or a book. It's always good to have them there because that's their calling card. If somebody else sees that book or sees that photograph and they like the photograph and they want to hire that photographer, that's the best way that that photographer can be found. Same thing for a mastering engineer. And this is why I highly recommend and even offer discounts to people who can produce evidence to show me that they have applied my mastering credit to their music. And I do have some instructions on how to do that in my free ebook, but you can also contact the support teams at DistroKid and TuneCore and even CD Baby to ask how you can accomplish those goals. If there's anything that you have any questions about, please feel free to reach out to me at brian@soundporter.com and I'll answer them as best and as quick as I can. I believe there's a lot of misinformation in the industry, but I do believe there's a lot of legitimate information out there as well. It's just a matter of how you put it together. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here. I want to make sure that we do it right.